Well, everybody, sorry about that. Welcome to my workshop here at Miller's Farm Shop. Yeah, a bit of a blunder. I didn't turn the right camera over, so yeah, no, big apologies. So remember what we're going to be doing. I'm going to hang around. I'm going to stall for a little bit because I have said 4:30 GMT. So we'll give everybody else a few more minutes to come in. If anybody knows anybody that you can't see, just give them a quick message for me. Massive apologies. It's all a little bit fraught today. Vicky's standing in for Farmer Tom. Farmer Tom's got a lot of work to do with lambing at the moment, so he's been called away. And so yeah, we've just been frantically sorting this out, and then I hit the wrong button. So massive apologies. So I hope you can hear properly. Remember the last time the Burl Bowl part 1. We had a few sound issues. Couldn't hear Tom. I was a little bit darky inside the mask, so I put a lapel mic on this time. So hopefully we should be all right. I've checked Vicky's mic, so Vicky's mic should be all right. But you know what to do if you hear any issues. Let us know. Vicky's going to be asking the questions. She's going to pass them on. And yeah, so we should be okay. So just a couple more minutes. Vicky, say something just to let the people know that you're there.
I am here. I am alive. Hello.
just yeah. So you know how it works, everybody. Just feed the questions into the chat function, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay. So yeah. Well, yeah. If they don't hear you, they're going to let you know. All right. Don't forget you turn your mic on when you start talking. Well, look, let's do a quick shout out first. We've got Jackie Monday Makes. She's been in twice now into the farm shop here to come and say hi. And I've been out every single time. I was cutting wood last time. I was at a show the time before. So sorry, Jackie. But next time, give us a shout and we'll do our best to meet up. So that's Jackie Monday Makes. Yes, question, Vic, go for it.
Can you say hello to Steve? He said hello, Vicki.
Hello, Steve. All right.
Hello.
Vicky says hello. Okay. I quite like, this is one of the things I like about all these lives is I watch the chat at the beginning a lot of the time, and I'll see everybody start talking about the weather in different parts of the world. It's quite fun. For a briefing moment here in the UK at Miller's Farm Shop, it's lovely and sunny. Hence I've got my legs out for the first time this year. Yes, Vic, go for it.
I'm not turning my mic on. I don't need to. It basically says, Jim B says, when are we going to see Vicki on the chisels? So I need to practice.
You need your mic on and ask that question again.
Okay. Jim B is asking when he's going to see me on the chisels. I need lots and lots of practice, Jim, at the moment. So I'm not getting enough practice. So I will get there.
Next couple of sessions, Jim, we'll have Vicki on there because that's the perfect time when people are just learning to use these particular chisels, like we did with Steph the other day, a few months back now. But yeah, those early stages, that's I like to get people like that on camera purely because that's the teaching side of wood turning. And to be honest, I feel wherever I demonstrate, wherever I teach, that's the sort of level a lot of people find more useful to see being taught. So we will do that. Vicky's doesn't want to do it, but do you really?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. She's correcting me. So we've got Vicki to come on, we've got Tom to come on, and don't forget Steph's going to make another appearance as well. Obviously, expert Steph now. So look, what I'm doing, I'm wearing this one. So a lot of the time you'll see me just with my eye protection on. So vulnerable nose, teeth, chin, and all that sort of things. But this blank has become, it's a little bit too big, and I'm obviously being sensible with this one. If anything did come off, then I want to make sure I'm nice and safe. I have done a little bit of prep from last time, but don't worry, I haven't done everything. The only thing I've done is just try to take away some of that, some of the bulk in there, because otherwise it's going to take us forever just taking out the core. So I've come down about halfway. I've also taped up, and I also follow George's advice, and that bit which had the bark inclusion in, I've glued that as well. So I've sanded the outside, and I've taped up with good old duct tape as well. So just if there anything begins to get loose, I'll have a warning before it actually flies across the room. Vicky's over that side, so she's out of harm's way. I've only got a nice expensive camera in the way. So apart from that, we're all safe. I'm of course going to be over here, so out of my way if anything does go wrong. I've had a good look though. That bar conclusion at the moment doesn't come all the way through, so I'm keeping everything crossed. We've got our backup there. I've got the tool rest going inside, and I've got a bowl turning tool rest instead of the flat tool rest, purely because it's given me a little bit more support. I've made sure everything's tight. Now, as well as making sure everything's tight here, I've just scuffed up the tool rest stem and the contact point between that and this bit here, so the locking handle, just to make sure that there's no chance that that's going to slip. Nice and firm. That's nice and firm. One other thing, if you've left your lathe for any length of time, re-tighten the chuck. And I've got big gripper jaws. We need to go above the camera up here, number 4, Vic, please. I've got big set of jaws on here. These are big gripper jaws. Serrated teeth on the inside, very deep teeth as well. So I've got about 15 mils, so about 5/8 of grip there, as well as around about 4 inches, so about 100 mil wide in those jaws. I've sanded the back already, so again, that's something that we don't have to think about. But don't worry, we're going to sand the inside, so you see exactly how we're sanding as well on the inside. Yes, Vic, another question.
Callum asks, hello Callum, can you tell me what is the size of the timber packer you use under the Tormek? What height is it?
There's an off-piece question.
Sorry,
Callum.
It's an off-piece.
Yeah, I'll message you later. But looking at it at a glance, it's about 40 mil. Yeah, looking at it, it's about 40 mil, Callum. I'll send you a picture. Vicki, can you remind me after when we finish? Right, I'm going to get started. So I've already tested the mic. With this on, you should be able to hear me. Let Vicki know if there's any problems though, but I think we should be okay. This is a bit of a trial, because if this works, I should be doing this quite often in our regular demonstrations. So I'm going to go straight away with a 5/8 or ½ inch in UK speak gouge, 5/8 in American. So we're going to use one of those. I've got a couple of sharpened behind me. I've also got a bottom feeder version of the same thing as well. We're just going to start taking out a little bit further. I'm going to creep, so I'm going to stop the lathe quite often. I'm going to put the lathe speed back down to 0 because I haven't done any turning on this piece since this morning. It's now 4:30. Bring that controller over where I can get to it quickly if I need to. Lathe speed to 0. Turn the lathe on. Turn the lathe up. There we are, 600 revs. So we're going to start just taking that out. Oh, go on then, Vic. Another question.
This is from Frederick. The main question is, what finish are you going to use, and has it dried out well?
I'm going to talk to you more about that in a minute, Frederick. We're going to go with the food safe all, and there's a specific reason. We're not using this for food, but there is a reason I'm using the food safe. So we'll go over that in a minute. Get out of the way. Sorry, guys. Didn't realise I was in the way. Okay, we'll have a quick stop and look at that. Honestly, this burr is beautiful. We've accidentally cut it in the right position. purely because it's sort of radiating out like a spider's web, and that's pure, accidental, really. It's a happy accident. I didn't intend to do that, but I'm pleased that it's happened that way. We're getting some really lovely markings. When we finish all of this, literally those ripples are going to expand out. You may have noticed a couple of things there. So I'm sort of starting the cut with my fingers in this position, but I'm very quickly bringing my hand out. Vicki, could you go to number 4, please? So I'm starting with my fingers here just to steady the tool, but then I'm very quickly bringing my hand out here. For my safety, really, if anything goes wrong, I don't want my hands inside that bowl. Once we get to sanding, slightly different story. I might be a bit more control then. We're not actually taking too much pressure off the piece. But look, none of that at this stage, none of that bark inclusions is coming forward in any big amounts. I've still got a couple of cuts to do before we go right the way down to the bottom. And I'm also purposely keeping this bowl quite thick. I'm guessing it's around about 1 inch thick at the moment. I'm happy with that for the size of the piece. It's a big old chunk there. So let's just finish this section to thickness. So rubbing the bevel, picking up the cut. We'll have a quick stop. We'll have another check. I think we're probably almost to thickness on that section, but let's just get a set of calipers on just to double check. We're probably one more cut away from being the right thickness at that point. So at that point there. So we'll just take another cut. Let's turn that light down a little bit so you can see a little bit more. Look. And I'm just going to lift it out the way of that camera. There we are. It's the trouble. You take it out the way of one camera and then it's in the way for the next. And I can't see. So one more cut there. There we are. Let's have a double check there. Go for the questions, Vic. I'm all ready.
Question: how much of the gouge do you have over the rest?
I can't hear you. You have to speak up.
How much of the gouge do you have over the rest?
How much of the
gouge do you have over the tool rest?
How much gouge? Oh, so we've got the shape of this tool rest is quite good. You know, I'm really, really close all the way around. Whereas earlier on, I had a straight tool rest. You imagine that. So there are places with a straight tool rest where you're going to be 3-4 inches over away from the tool rest and not being that well supported. That's my decision making for going for this one. I don't normally use a bowl turning rest purely because I'm just not used to them. Things that you've got to be careful of is I wrap my fingers around the tool rest quite often. You can't do that with these. If you do it, you're liable to pinch your finger. Other things to think of, there is a pinch point right there, right where, not on the tool rest, but down at the heel of the banjo. Then my finger will be dangerously close to being caught if I put it there. So you've got to be careful. Hence the reason my hands are outside this at the moment. I'm not taking any chances. Yes, Vic?
What is the modification of the caliper?
Modification, very scientific modification of my calipers. Bit of masking tape, just to stop. We were doing a hollow form course the last 2 days, and we were using brown oak. And bear with me, let me go and get one of the rough turn ones that we were doing on the first day. So this is rough turned. It was wet. No.
Oh, sorry.
As you were. There we are. So this is one of the rough turn ones. But look where we've checked with calipers, whether the camera can pick that up. You can see these lines going down. So we just used, instead of just bare naked caliper, we just masked the ends to stop that. Now that's a rough turn pot, so that will be returned once dry. But even so, if we can stop it, more the better. So just a little bit of masking tape, that was all. Okay, let's get our bottom feeder in. The bottom feeder gouge, my regular gouge is ground to a 55-degree bevel angle at the back. This one is down more, creeping up more like 65, so 60, 65. And that just means I don't have to bring the handle as far around here. I can keep it out that way a little bit more. It really helps for this sort of thing, you know, so we don't get caught in between. So let's take a little bit more of that bottom away. Keep my fingers right out of the way. See the difference where my handle is now. Little bit woolly in the bottom, but we'll deal with that in a second. Stop and have another check in a minute. Pick up the old cut. Just going to mix around between the two gouges now. We're starting to get a little bit of movement. You can hear that bounce. Clean, that's good. Back to the bottom feeder. Now, that's not finished yet, but I just want to stop and check and see what's happening. And we'll answer some questions at the same time.
Callum asks, have you used Veritas calipers and are they worth the extra money?
Yes, I have. The Veritas calipers are the best, in my opinion, that you're going to get. They're definitely worth getting. Yes. Don't hesitate. Grab some. They are the best. They're fantastic. You're getting a lot further. You'll get into more intricate shapes. You'll get into more overcut hollow forms. So, yeah, grab yourself a set, Callum. A little bit more expensive, but they're worth it. So just playing between the two gouges. double check. We think we're getting there now. I'm just going to double check that thickness and just look with my fingers. So look with my hand just to see what the shape is without actually looking at it. Vic, yes, you got some questions.
This isn't really a question. It's from Ruby. Hello, Ruby. Callum, she was saying the martel calipers have worked very well as well. Do you know what those ones are called?
No, I don't.
The Martel, Martel calipers.
Nothing to do with Andre Martel. Has he developed them or something? Or maybe, don't know. I think we're a little bit more from the bottom. You know, we've got loads of timber in there. I'm not too scared to go a little bit further. We can take a bit more away. One more small cut, I reckon. Now I think that should be okay, but let's do our final checks. Final checks and have a look. That's a nice. I like that. I like that. You know instantly, don't you? When you see a curve, when you're happy with it, it just looks right. Now we've got some of that bark inclusion coming through here now, which is quite nice. So I think we've chanced our arm far enough. I don't think we really want to go any further. I'll have a nice flat base on the back side of that one as well. So we're going to think about a little bit of sanding now. And I just want to go over how we do that with this beast. Get rid of my tool rest a minute. We'll have extraction on. How's the sound, everybody? Let Vicki know how the sound is. Because if this is working well, it will be something that we do a little bit more regular. Okay. Vic, let's get maybe number 3 camera just to see how beautiful that timber is. Don't think me doing this is going to help, but let's just to get you a good view now. I'm just going to spin that by hand. But the burl, the burl, the burl, and the ripples in there, and the spalting in there really do make that a special piece. There we are, Vic. You might want to go to another camera now while I'm fishing around this one. Oh. There we go. All right, we'll go back to that one in a minute. Yes, you got some questions. I need to sand now, so I'm going to bring. Where's that? Not going to be in the way. Let's pop it there, just for the minute. A little bit of inconvenience, just so I can see what I'm doing. Yes, Fitz. Yeah, fire away.
Paul was asking, what speed are you turning it at?
That was turning at about 570, Paul. I've got a medium-sized professional lathe here. And it's quite a big lump, so I'm just probably pushing the lathe a bit, but it's working. So I haven't gone too fast. 550. The bigger the bigger the lathe you go, obviously you got more weight there, so you can go a little bit better, a little bit not better, but a little bit faster. Yep.
Darren has asked, what angle is your bottom feeder gouge?
It's about 60 to 65, mate. Yeah.
Lots of good comments about the sound. Great sound. That's
Great
good. Hooray! At last.
Can I carry on for a minute, Vic? Go for it.
Ready?
Yeah.
This is from Stuart. Stuart's been turning some green bowls recently. Some blanks have hard knots in them, and it ends up with a lot of bounce on the gouge. as the gouge hits the harder wood.
Yeah.
Is there any way to manage this?
Yeah, we had some actually on the last couple of days. Yeah, there is a good way of handling it. Resharpen your tools. Take this is going to sound weird, but take a slightly bigger cut. So you get a lot of bevel bounce when we push hard against the bevel, and when you try and correct that bevel bounce, you try and push a bit harder to stop it from happening. So what I tend to do is to eliminate bevel bounce, and especially with beginners as well, because they're gripping tools tightly, is resharpen or just tweak the handle away a little bit further. So you're pivoting the cutting edge in a bit more. Definitely works. But when I'm saying pivoting a little bit more, a fraction, probably an inch worth of movement with the handle away for you, pivot that cutting edge in. That will help stop that. Or float the gouge. So float the gouge where you have no bevel in contact at all, but carefully. I don't mean push the handle right away. I just mean to bring the bevel off a little bit, and float over that bouncing area. And you'll find suddenly it just glance away. It'll disappear. Takes a bit of practice, that one though. What normally happens as human beings, we overcompensate if we get a problem like that, and we push hard, we grip tightly, and we think that's the answer. It's not. It's just a slightly more delicate touch. That's all right. All good. One more.
Nice comment from Michael Seagrave. The sound is fine, and Vicky's doing a nice job on the cameras. Yes, get it.
Okay. Let's carry on sanding. Dust extraction on. Now, just before I do start, what I don't want to be doing here is sanding with a power sand all the way out to this outside edge. Number 2, Vic, if you would. All the way out to this outside edge, because the minute we come around and hit that void, it's going to fall into that void and then soften all of these leading corners here. So we do need to be a little bit careful. I'm going to stop where I am at solid timber, and then we're going to tackle the other bit in a slightly different way. I have a cord here. Be aware of where this cord is. It's a corded drill. Corded drills run much faster, so we're going to swap between corded and uncorded. Couple of things I want to go over with you there. Don't hang around in the center too long with a power sander. You will dip that center. So I came up to it and then went away fairly quickly. We've got 120 grit, so the coarsest grade on there first. That's the abrasive that does the most work. That has to take away all the nasties, i.e. the turning marks and tears. Once that's done, you can go through the other grades much, much quicker. We're going to go for a little bit longer, then we're going to do the same up here by hand. Any questions before I start again, Vic? Yeah.
Got a lovely comment from Glenn and Lisa Teagle, wood turning and carbide chisels. I enjoyed to see you hollowing that, Colwin. Good to see you hollowing every cut from outside to in, and not like most scraping from the inside out.
Brilliant.
And wearing your Vesperator.
Lovely.
Hi, guys.
Lovely, Glenn. Thanks very much for making yourself known, buddy. Good to see you the other day, by the way. There we are. Now let's just quickly stop that, swap over, corded drill down on the floor, cordless drill, to do our hand sanding. Now watch this. This is going to take no time at all. I always joke that this is the reason that I drink beer. It gives me a beer belly that I can hold my drill against, just to support myself as I rotate by hand using the same 120 grit. And this is going to keep those lovely crisp edges crisp. Doing the same thing, we're just taking out all the nasties. Am I in the way? Yeah. Go to number 3 if you would, that would be awesome. Number 3. Oh, I see. That has to be there. I'm loving the fishing videos as well. Then a bit of a fisherman myself, and it's quite nice to watch all fishing videos. Don't get to do as much nowadays. Okay. Just being a little bit delicate here, taking away all those nasties, like I say. They're right in front of me so I can see where they are, so it's not difficult. Let's stop and get some just give me 2 seconds, Vic. I think I'm nearly all fully round, so. We've done this first one, it's much easier. There we are. Right. Yes, Vix.
Kev asks, power sanding, do you always use on the fastest speeds?
Yeah. Yeah, purely because. So yeah, the corded drill is used because of its speed, as is the cordless drill because it's a little bit slower. What I find with the cordless, it's just a bit lighter as well. It gives me a little bit of freedom to do this sort of thing. Pardon? Go.
Is that a soft pad on the sanding disc?
Yeah, I've got no interference in between it. It's just literally, you can see, there we are. It's just a nice little soft pad. Not ultra soft. I want it to actually stay a little bit firm because I don't want to sand corners away again. So it's not really ultra soft. Yeah.
Can we say howdy to Ward Wilson, please?
How?
Howdy.
There we are, corded drill. Get the lathe back on again.
Question from Callum. Sometimes lose the sanding heads or the Velcro goes. Can you recommend any makes?
Say that again, you've got to shout it.
Callum asks, sometimes lose the sanding heads on the Velcro goes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Can you recommend any makes?
Well, see, this one's from the Axminster Deluxe sander, and I've never lost that at all. The other option would be going for something like Simon Hope's. Simon Hope does a mean pad, and with Simon's, you can choose to go for a hard interference pad or a soft interference pad, then you've no hope, no worries about then, if you lose a bit off of that, that's fine. You've still got your extra sanding attachment. But that one being nice and soft, that one being much harder. That's Simon Hope of Hope Wood Turning. So that's quite a good option also. But the Axminster Deluxe, I've never lost the Velcro from it at all. It's always been really good. Okay, we're going to 180 grit. Laid on. Extraction back on. Right, 240. Okay. We'll go to our cordless again. Stop the lathe, do the outer edge. So we're just alternating between the cordless and corded. Outside, inside, tidying everything up. Shout the question, Vic.
Frederick asked, were there any soft punky errors or were you lucky?
Yeah, there are a few. That area there is quite a soft one. Being a little bit careful of that. Generally, it's not too bad. Looking after me quite well. Not all timber sands this well, actually. So it's really looking after me nicely. Some can be a pig. Some, you'll be afraid you're sanding it, but this is sanding well. There we are. Right, let's go. We're going to jump. We're going to go right up to 400. So that was 240 we were just on. So 400. Same thing. And this is the last one. There we are, that's the 400. So we'll have a lathe running again, go for the power drill. Use the same one on the inside. I can take a slight sigh of relief then. All right for questions? Yeah.
Robert Wilson says, ask Colwin to check his emails.
To what?
Robert Wilson says, ask Colwin to check his emails.
I saw
Big
that.
laughy
I
face.
saw it, Rob. Yeah. Oh, I will get back to you. Sorry. He knows what I'm like. Not laughing at you. Right, let's have a look at that. It's pretty. That's pretty. It's going to be even prettier in a minute when we put the oil on it. Good. Well, one thing we need to do, of course, is take the base away. We don't want a base. So let's get rid of... no bar conclusions coming through. So I feel safe. I'm going to take away the tape. Aye? Gently. Yeah. There we go. The only reason I wanted to do that, I just wanted to make sure that nothing had risen up. The tape hasn't risen the grain, so I think it's okay. Go to camera 1, Vic. Lathe speed to 0. Turn the lathe on. I'm just going to very gently. With 400 abrasive, just denib, just gently. I'm not putting myself in any danger. Just where that tape was. Right. Knock that off for a minute. Pardon? All right, let's take him off. This is a magic moment, isn't it? When you take the bowl off the lathe for the first time and feel how heavy it is, or not. Let me turn that right away, down, out the way. Get it right. Now, you can see all the lovely markings in that bowl. Let's go to the other camera, Vic, number 3. Just because it's a slightly better quality camera, it picks up that grain a little bit better. It's not quite as glitchy glary. So now what we've got to do on the back of it, we're going to take this off. This is only a sacrificial foot. So I'm keeping everything crossed. That my reversing plate will fit without the bowl clashing with the headstock. I'll have to think off piste if it does. Put that over out the way. We're going to be fine, I think. Perfect. Tailstock comes back on. Fire them away. I'm going to take this off for a minute so I can hear you better. Just for a minute.
Just a question. Are you going to be at Yandles on the 5th for the Masters of the Lathe?
I'm teaching because I was asked to do it, but I was supposed to be in Ireland in Cork, which I am, but the weekend after. But we were going to go a little bit longer, weren't we, Vic?
We were.
We were, but things fell through. So now I'm not doing Yandles. I'm booked up to do something else in Bristol. So for Max Careywood Turning Trust instead. So unfortunately, I won't be there. So no, but I know you're going to have a good time because there's some top class demonstrators there. That's going to go over. Tailstock's coming up. We're going to use a ring center. In the tailstock. And if you remember last week, what we also just made a little center point in there ready for this process. So now we can center up. My eyesight will let me see. There we go. Nope. That's in position. There we go. So that locks up nice and firm, making sure the headstock's nice and firm. Get a nice little bit of pressure. If you're unsure about how much pressure to put on here, just independently from what you're doing, just grab the tailstock center and just see if you can move it. You should be able to just move it. Not easily, but it shouldn't be rock hard either. So tweak, test, all right? That's good. Okay, small tool rest. Now we don't need anything too big because we're just going to tidy that up. And I'm just going to put a little flat base, not too much. So lay speed is 0. Just get my lid back on again. Any questions, Vic, before I start? Small bowl gouge. I've got a little 3/8 or 6 mil in UK speak. That's good. Good angle. It's a lumpy old bowl, so we're going to have a decent flat on it so it doesn't just fall over. Just remember, everyone, it's as easy to go through the bottom of a bowl from this side as it is from the centre, as it is from the inside of the bowl. So just monitor, be aware of how thick or thin your bowl is. Maybe I should say that once I finish. I like just putting this little shadow line, a little curve almost, little shadow line on the bottom. I just think it looks nice. This one here, just a little raise, just creates a little bit of a shadow, a bit of interest. Finishing is quite good. The timber's looking after me. It's not me, it's the way the timber is working for me. It's nice. This timber's sort of partly seasoned. It's not soaking wet, but it's not dry. Now, I'm not going to do anything too risky, so we're gonna leave the nub that big just to sand, and then we'll take the nub off after. There we go. Take that out of the way. We'll sand that. You can sand that in numerous ways. You can sand it by power sand. You can hand sand it off. Whatever we do, we need extraction. Oh yeah, sorry. Go for it. Go for it. I'm going to turn the extractor off, get some abrasive, and answer your questions.
Question. Would you ever do anything of this size in a wobble bowl design?
In a wobble, probably not. Just practicalities, really. A wobble bowl of this size, I don't know what function it would be. It could wobble around, but it would be, these are more statement pieces, aren't they? A wobble bowl's more of a fascinator. Is that the right word? Fascinator. So yeah, I probably wouldn't. I think this is a bit more stability. This needs.
One more question. How large a foot is needed for a piece that large?
Is needed for a piece this large?
This large, yeah.
Depends on its use. If it's a functional piece, then it's going to be a lot bigger foot than a decorative piece. However, you've got to think about the stability of that piece. If this, the natural edge on it, if it was biased on one side, then you'd have to have a bigger foot to make sure it doesn't fall over. So, if it comes to a salad bowl, if it comes to a fruit bowl, the foot are going to be really substantial just to make it stable. Decorative pieces, all the way down to something like a wobble pot, can get smaller and smaller and smaller. There's probably some clever mathematic workings out for it, but I don't know that. Yes, Nathan.
Or maybe a trivet.
A what?
A trivet.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll look lovely. 3 feet would be nice. Maybe we could do that actually for a live one day. We'll carve some feet onto it. We've done that before. I don't think I've shown that on a live though. That'll be an interesting one. I'm making a mental note of that. So 3 feet. So carved feet. Yeah. So you just turn a ring and then carve the feet in. It looks like they're sprouting or growing out of the piece of timber. So that's a 180 grit. I'm just going to double check to make sure we've taken away any tears that might be there. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's, again, not me. It's the timber. It's working well. Yes, go for it, Vic.
Callum was saying recently tried pure Danish oil, but still prefers tung oil. Years ago, it was always linseed oil on oak. Have you got a preference?
Yeah, so I'm not keen on tung oil personally because it takes an age to dry. So a lot of the natural oils, they take a long time to dry. Even the one I'm going to use, the mineral oil, food safe oil, that's going to take a while to dry. But those tung oils, the nut oils, there is no drying agent in it. It'll take a lot longer. It's a little bit stickier as well, tung oil. I'm not keen on it. My favourite oils at the moment, I'll dart between, if I want a dead flat finish on something, I'll go for lemon oil. I really like the Hampshire Sheen citrus oils. They're awesome. Loving the chestnut food safe oil and their finishing oil as well. They all have very different properties and different reasons for using them as well. Oh, and the reason I'm using the food safe oil on this one, the chestnut one, is because it's clear, it's mineral oil. I don't want to go with a finishing oil on this. I don't want to darken it any more than it has to. So I'm going for a completely water-like oil, which is the food safe. That's the reason I've gone with that one. But I love the smell that's coming out of the citrus oils also. We're supplying a wax at the moment by a really interesting maker, and I'll next live stream, I'll give you her her Instagram page because she's one to watch, but she does some wonderful waxes. It's worth having a look at, and they're orange oil scented waxes, and they're really water repellent as well. We put them on chopping boards. 100% natural. The 3 ingredients, Vic. Linseed, beeswax, and orange oil. We'll do it next time. We'll keep everybody in suspense. Go for it. Yep. Who's it from? Edinator?
Yes.
Edinator 2000.
Ready?
Yep.
Edinator 2000. Live show reminder, making jam chucks was a reasonable idea.
Yeah.
I managed to sort one, but it was a task.
I am going to reply to you, Ed, as well. Of course, you sent me a lovely email the other day. How are you getting on so far? So I'll come back to you on that one. Yeah, absolutely. Jam chucks. Jam chucks are a real thing. In fact, just before we went live, I was using one, just finishing off a few fruit. So yeah, now I'm just going to use this little pull saw. This is a lovely little saw. It's lovely and flexible, but it's a flush cut saw. However, I'm just putting my finger there just to hold it off. And we're going to cut down halfway. Take off some pressure. You know who Edinator is, Vic? Ed that come and spent a couple of days with us from the Isle of Wight. Yeah. What was that? It was probably about 6 weeks ago now. You know Ed, yeah. There we are. Just viewing down the bowl, I'm just making sure nothing touches the bottom of the bowl there. We're almost there, actually. Yep, that'll do. He says that'll do. I'm going to take it off and hope that that just pops off in a second. Well, let's just get him on first and we'll look. that you can stay where you are actually at the moment. A little bit of gentle persuasion. Where you were, a little bit of gentle persuasion, and that pops off. That gives us a nice little area we can just sand away. So if I put my chuck back on, we'll get a little sander on there. Well, I'll tell you what might be easier. You'll see it a little bit better. Let's do it with the cordless drill. That can go in there. I'll bring that right up. That on there. If you're going to do this, just be aware that there's a bit of friction on the bowl when you're sanding it. So make sure it's held securely. Otherwise, you'll find it flying across the room. I'm going to start with a 180 just to take away the worst. Then we're going to go to 40-400. And all I'm doing is just removing that little nib. I will have the dust extraction on for this.
Quick comment.
Go for it.
A quick comment from JPN Company. I recently saw somebody use rice bran oil. I thought that did not catalyze.
Okay. Well, I think the mineral oil the same. That won't, that won't crystallize or anything like that. There we go. Right, that was 180. We're getting down there now to a fair depth. So now I want to go 240. When you feel it, you don't want to feel any lump, bump, or anything from that nub. So you look with your eyes, but look with your fingers as well. No sign of anything. So if, for instance, you had a gloss finish on there, you don't want to see anything reflecting. Because you can guarantee the next wood turner that comes on, I'll turn your bowl upside down and have a look. They will always find something. No, we always got time for nice comments. Go on. Yeah.
Nice comment from Mark at Turn Again Crafts. If you remember my son Jack, 11 years old, and I popped in to see you last summer and talked about youth training.
Yeah.
Pleased to let you know that he has been accepted into a WGB Youth Training Day during Easter holidays.
Fantastic. That'll be up with good friends Mark Smith and Les Thorne, I would have thought, up at 4 marks. If that is the one, you're in good hands. Good on you. We're very excited to have a work experience young man coming in to see us in June, aren't we, Vic?
Yes.
We're excited about that. So he's going to take part in the live that week. He's going to control the cameras and all those sorts of things as well. So that'll be an interesting one, exciting one. There we are. That's done. I'm really excited about it because that's my first look at wood turning. It was on work experience when I was at school. When I was 13. So yeah, that was awesome. So to be able to offer that to somebody else is really cool. There. Good. I'm going to put my dust extractor on, and bear with me a second while I will go in front of all of the cameras to grab an airline to blow that bowl out. want to do this really just to clear out all of those little voids. I don't know where I am on camera, but give me 2 seconds. We'll get some finish on that now, because that's going to look absolutely glorious. Essentially finished in terms of all the turning and the sanding. So let's get a bit of oil on. We'll do the outside first. So let's. All right, you just start asking questions then, Vic, if you've got a load. Okay.
Frederick Day, he said it's Richard Raffin that uses rice wax and bran oil. He then immediately applies beeswax. It seems to work well.
Well, I'm not going to argue with anything that Richard does.
Dennis Wee has asked, my face shield often gets fogged. Gets fog on it during turning. What do you advise? Any tips?
It depends, Dennis. So are you talking this type of thing, the thing that I'm wearing, just the camera 1 of sec thing? This type of thing, or are you talking that type of thing? So this is blowing air past me, so it's a demister all the time. If it's one of the other ones, then it's just your breath steaming it up, isn't it? So nothing really. Obviously, make sure you're wearing a dust mask as well to protect yourself. That will help stop it quite a lot.
There is lots of comments giving suggestions online. So
the cream that. So I swim in the sea all through the winter, and there's a little spritz on a little mist of demist solution,
an anti-fog solution.
Yeah, apparently. Skiers do the same thing when they're skiing in the cold conditions. So that could work.
Or a thin film of dishwashing detergent.
Washing detergent,
first. Yeah.
So just covering all over. What I'll do tomorrow, you see, this is going to need to set and soak in. I'll probably give this a couple of coats just to let it soak in, because it's already drying in these areas here a lot more. So the end grain a lot more than the side grain. Okay. I'm going to manipulate it around in a minute, Vic, so don't worry. Let's take away my bung. There we go. Good dose on the back, and let's get that center. So it's tissue. Yeah, I want to get to work on the middle. Yep.
Another comment from Callum. You're well known for your German smokers and pendants. What's your next idea design to make?
There's a couple of things I want to do for Wizardry and Wood this year. So Wizardry and Wood up in the City of London in October. I'm lucky to be on the organising committee for that. But there's several competitions, and I really would like a German smoker-based dragon. So several parts, and I want to do a fairly sizable smoker, but in the shape of a dragon with smoke coming out of its nose. That, and I'd love to do another 3 or 5 tier carousel based on the City of London and all the sites. So I'll have definitely, things like Buckingham Palace, Tower of London, all those sorts of things, Big Ben, all that sort of thing. I'd love to do one of those. So that's my big pieces that I'm sort of dreaming and thinking of. I've got to get on with them, I know, but that's the sort of things that I'm thinking of at the moment. In terms of day-to-day stuff, well, we've got a shop and we just need to keep churning, keep taking things. Vicki keeps giving me orders to turn, lists of things to turn. So it's a constant constant thing. Constant practice, chaps and girls. It's, you know, get out there and practice. And we practice every single day. I say we because it's not just me. Vicki does all the roughing down, creating the whole points. And that. So, yeah, we're both practicing. It's a daily thing. And that's a good bit of advice when you see demonstrators demonstrate, professionals doing their thing. We're all teaching, we're all turning every single day. So we're always practicing and learning new techniques, new things. So don't be down if you see an Instagram post or a Facebook post or a YouTube post with somebody doing it. Don't think, oh, I'm never going to get like that, because you only get like that when you practice.
Another question?
Go for it.
From Dennis Wee, what is the brand of the one you're using with the air circulation system?
So I've got two here. Shall I get them both? I've got one which is the Axminster Evolution. Okay, the Axminster Evolution. That's my go-to, my day-to-day. That's made in Oxford, near a couple of hours away from here. It's light. It's got a bump cap on there. The 8-hour battery lasts 8 hours, and it's just nice and streamlined as well. It's quite a nice one, that one. So that's my go-to when I'm doing some heavy work. So a lot of sanding. If I'm doing a few days worth of bowl churning out, then I'll go for the VersaFlow. Very different ball game altogether. The battery's much bigger in it. The motor's more powerful on it. The filter's even better on it. So this is an M-class hood now. Same thing, bump cap. But we're talking, for us in the UK, that one's now about 300. This one's about 1,200. So there's a big difference. If you're hobby turning, absolutely want something like that would be great.
Battery life?
Battery life's 8 hours. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. A little bit faster charging on this one. That's 8 hours charging, 8 hours use. So overnight jobby, that one. But yeah, both of them are awesome. Yep. Okay, look at that. That's soaking in. So I'm going to wipe off the excess. The thing with oil of any sort, whether it's a mineral oil, whether it's a finishing oil, citrus oil, all of them, don't allow them to pool on the surface. You need to wipe off. So it's done a little bit of soaking in whilst I've been talking. So I'm just going to dab off all of the loose oil. And you can see on the inside where it's just pooling a little bit. That's where it's not soaking in quite so much. I'm just going to wipe off the excess before this is left overnight. And then it'll be buffed again tomorrow. And probably another coat, if I'm honest with you. Let's do the same on the back. Your fingers are still going to mark this certainly for the next few hours, probably 24 if I'm honest. What happens, the warmth from your fingers will start pulling the oil out. So when you pick it up in the morning, you see fingerprints. Don't worry too much. You're going to leave it and let it fully cure. Take about, like I say, 24, 48 hours to be properly sure. Rubbish. There we are. I quite like that, if I'm honest with you. I really, 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 really like that. Unfortunately, it's not coming home. It will be put in the shop. If you did want to come and see it, and you are in this area of the UK, down in the southwest, beautiful part of the country, then pop in the shop and see it. It'll be here for as long as it's here. Vicki's gonna put it in the shop, give it some love, and hopefully sell it within the next couple of weeks. But let's have a look. Pop it up on number one, please, Vix. There we are. So you can see it's a sizable piece, that one. Or if Glenn will vouch me here, any good fisherman, as they take a picture, will always do that, because it makes it look even bigger. Beautiful bit of timber. Awesome markings on the inside, on the outside, everywhere. And that was a whole hat. So that burl come over like this, and we've turned right the way down through the middle. So you get those lovely swirls and curls and things coming around. As well as that, you've got all the spalting on the underside there. So that's really lovely. And then, yeah, whichever camera you want to go to, Vic. Yeah. There we are. And then show the back as well. And we've darkened the bark edge here, just with a bit of oil, just to keep that in just to keep that in sync. Pretty. There we are. Any questions, Vic, before we go?
I'm just trying to. Everybody loves it. Stunning.
It's also, I really like that. I'm really pleased. I'll put that up on the Instagram, on our Instagram post as well.
A question about what price would you put on it? Hang on, I didn't put it on here. A question from Kev. What price will you put on it, Vicky?
Yep.
I am not sure yet.
I'm going to talk about that. So if you pop camera 1 on, let Finn in. Finn, our son, the #1 arborist in the southwest, has just come to the door, so he's just going to walk in. Price-wise, now there's going to be lots of different thoughts on price. If you put things into a gallery, you've got the gallery going to add their 40-50%. So if you go to a gallery, you will see escalated prices. We don't have the middleman here, so we don't have to charge what the gallery charges. Obviously, there's overheads, there's costs and things like that. I prep the timber myself. I don't buy it in terms of off the shelf, a bowl blank, for instance. So I get the timber cheaper, free sometimes, most of the time if it's wet, and we dry it. My son Finn, he's the arborist. He's up and down trees. I'm a fella as well, so we can quite able to cut these trees down. We've got 2 to get on the weekend, so we don't have those costs. So for me, it's the amount of time it's taken to turn. It's my knowledge. It's my training. I add all of those in to what I'm doing. And a very well-known wood turner, production turner in the UK, gave me some really, really valuable advice once, especially when you're production working. It's £1 a minute, so £60 an hour, and you'll get there. With a reasonable price. These gallery pieces are different, so I don't charge these as I would a production turn piece. It's £1 a minute. These are priced slightly differently, and I price them on the ability to turn them. So my training over the 40 odd years that I've been turning, but I'm not going to charge thousands and thousands of pounds, because for us in here, we're looking at turnover. We need to get things made. We've never wanted to be a gallery. We never wanted to escalate prices in that way. So I'm guessing on that piece, we'll probably be putting about a £250 price mark on it. Vicky's shaking her head and doing that, but that's about where that's about where we're going to be. All right. But there, let us know your thoughts on that. I mean, do you think that's high? Do you think that's low? We know, with our customers, you wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in your country, what part you are in the country, because that makes a big difference as well. The UK, for instance, there's a huge difference just in a matter of a few miles between what you can charge and what you can't. Are you going to craft shows? Are you going to galleries? Are you going to shops where they have to put a little bit more on? There's lots of different things. What will you get in America? What will you get in Australia? What will you get in the UK? What will you get in France? It's all different. We have to consider lots of factors in. And for us in this part of the world, and for me, in my thinking, that's what we would get. Yes.
Question from Callum: how many coats of oil?
I'll monitor it, Callum. I can't tell you really. I'd probably aim for about 3. I'd see how much soaks in really. If it keeps soaking it and keeps taking it in, if it's thirsty, then I'll just keep putting it on. The good thing with the oil, of course, is taking away some of the sap, or it's replacing some of the sap. Remember, this is partly seasoned, so the more oil I can get on, the more stable that bowl's going to be. Yes, we're going to have some movement, but we're not going to get a huge amount. Now we've taken out all that stress. We're not going to get splitting and such. But yeah, probably another 2 to 3 coats, and that will make those ripples start to jump, start to boom. For me, it's not the bowl that I want a gloss finish on. I want to go satin or flat. Satin really, because then those ripples, those burls will jump out a bit more. So yeah, that's where I am. Yes, Vic.
What is your finish size?
Finish size on that one. So finish size on that one's 14 inches in diameter which equates to just under 36 centimeters. And then in terms of depth, we are 7.5 inches, which equates to 19 centimeters. All right, so that's roughly where we are. All right, so there, yes. I think we're there.
Yeah.
No more questions, right? Good. Well, first of all, my apologies for the hiccup at the very beginning. My mistake. Press the wrong button without thinking. Thank you for coming back and rediscovering us. So, if you like what you saw, just if you could give us a thumbs up. That's just the acknowledgement that you've liked it. We're working on any little bits and bobs like the sound. Hopefully, the sound was much better today, and certainly opened my eyes for going forward. So no, thank you ever so much for that, guys. So yeah, like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and don't forget, hit the notifications button so you know when we're going to be doing another one. It'll be the first time next time. So one more question before we go.
Ward Wilson keeps saying smash the like button.
Thank you, Ward. Nice one, buddy. Lovely. Right. Well, until next time, everybody, we'll see you again. I'm going to go around here. Bye-bye.